I, for one, welcome our new robotic overlords. Will artificial intelligence steal our jobs? Today is Mini Myth Monday, here in Mikey's lab. If this is your first time joining us in the lab, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below to ensure that you get all the latest news on DIY, making, science, technology, engineering, and now Mini Myth Mondays from the lab every single week. The robots are coming, the robots are coming is the constant refrain heard from people who do not understand what artificial intelligence is. So naturally, they fear it. With the likes of Elon Musk jumping in and pushing forward what I would consider to be a fear-based agenda, and for the first time me actually openly disagreeing with Elon, it is no wonder that the general public, who doesn't have the background or understanding of what artificial intelligence is, how it's used, or what it does today, is skeptical about it. There are many things to consider when looking at this from a logical standpoint, but we're going to focus on two primarily. And that is, what is artificial intelligence now? How does it work? And what is it used for? The second thing will be us kind of attempting to predict where it's going to go in the future, based off of where it is now, what it is good at now. First off, let's start off by talking about what artificial intelligence is not. Artificial intelligence is not the kiosk at McDonald's, it's not the self-serve check-in at the airport, and it is not that robot in the factory performing the same task over and over and over again. This is automation, not artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is also not the thinking machine, at least not in any form of thought that we would recognize. These examples of automation, yes, they are definitely shifting jobs, changing where we will be working and how we will be working in the future. A knowable quote, and a good rule of thumb as far as I'm concerned, is 60% of the jobs from 10 years from now haven't been invented yet. The purpose of this particular automation and this job shift is to give people the opportunity to get away from doing the mindless, repetitive tasks and allow people to focus on what they're passionate about and gifted in. What this will look like is unknown, and it is very much a digression from the topic of this video. So let's get back to the artificial intelligence. Most of the time when people speak of artificial intelligence, they're talking about a neural network or deep learning. What this is once it's switched on and what this is once it starts processing is hard to know and even harder to guess or define. Let's start by looking at one of the deep learning neural network systems that I struggle to understand every day, and I know several other people do, and that's YouTube's recommended video algorithm. For the longest time prior to actually using a neural network or deep learning, YouTube's algorithm was always the information that was sought the most by YouTubers such as myself, so that we could figure out what content would have the largest impact on your viewing habits. For the last few years though, YouTube and Google have switched to a neural network deep learning system, where they gave it the goal of increasing watch time, and the understanding that achieving this goal is good and not achieving this goal is bad. Since then, the algorithm has been learning and has been evolving and bringing in new sets of rules and removing the ones that didn't work. So at this point, it is completely impossible for anyone to tell you what the formula is to get Google or YouTube to highly recommend your videos. They just don't know. The AI itself could probably tell you, but in 10 minutes it will change anyway. Currently, the applications in which neural network artificial intelligence and deep learning are most heavily used are criminology, medicine, and the financial district. So let's take a minute and explore a couple of these. The first one is kind of interesting to me. I watch a lot of the investigation type shows on TV, and it's a project called CATCH. And CATCH stands for Computer Aided Tracking and Characterization of Homicides. Now, when a serial offender first strikes an area, it is usually an unprecedented event for that particular police force, and they're inundated with information, tips both false and accurate, and they need to try to make sense of what they are receiving from the public every day. This is where deep learning and neural network algorithms can come in handy. It can take a look at the information that is being presented to it, whether it be from tips or past cases or things that have happened similarly in the area, try to pattern match, find crimes that may be associated with the person who's doing this that have not yet, and start to build a geographical area and character traits of the assailant. This is invaluable in finding the people who are out there with the urge to hurt us. Medicine is another aspect where this is becoming more predominant. Being able to analyze hundreds of thousands or millions of cases of a disease in minutes, find correlations, find things that maybe a human brain has not thought of yet because we haven't seen the pattern because the pattern is scattered over way too much data. This has been done with cancer research, and a number of other competitions have led to people who have no background in medicine possibly finding new avenues for exploration on some of the biggest diseases we deal with every day. Okay, so what is AI likely to become? Well, like everything on this planet, it is going to continue to evolve. The genie's out of the bottle, can't be put back in. So it's going to continue to get more powerful, it's going to continue to get stronger, and it's going to continue to have more roles in our society. So what is that going to look like? Well, in my opinion, in the next 20 years, the largest impact will be in areas where large data sets of information start to come into play. It will factor more into medicine, it will factor more into the research that we do and see patterns that we can't see over huge data sets. It is possible in the near future we'll all be walking around with biopacks, which monitor key biometric systems in our body, and can give our doctors and our physicians a real-time report and a log history of how our body's performing. This will allow them to better diagnose us and faster diagnose issues and provide better treatment solutions. If you were thinking that in the next 20 years you're going to have a robotic butler, I'm sorry. I'm going to highly doubt that that will happen. Simple tasks, when it comes to robotics anyway, simple tasks that humans do without even thinking about it, such as walking on an unpredictable surface, robots still find very challenging. So that, coupled with the fact that the computational power required for deep learning and for artificial intelligence requires vast amounts of computers, and just we can't get it into a package small enough that it will fit onto a robot that can, for any reasonable amount of time, be self-powered. So no, you will not have a robot butler in the next 20 years. So in conclusion, no, AI is not here to steal your job. AI right now is being used for jobs that are currently not being done by humans because the data sets are too big. There's just too much information, too much pattern recognition required for what we're programming these things to do. Even something as simple as the YouTube video recommendation algorithm, it can't be done by a human. There's just too much there, and our brains don't work that way. For all of the clear advantages of artificial intelligence, the notion that the robots are taking over is still as far-fetched as it was 20 years ago. Thank you for joining me in the lab. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, tell me why in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and as I said at the beginning, subscribe to make sure you get all of our latest content. Thank you for joining me in the lab, and I will see you next time.